With the new studio and lots of new residents, Sun City TV invites you to join our crew. Our growing technology presence requires enthusiastic creative volunteers as camera persons, editors, script coordinators, reporters, audio and visual support staff. No previous TV experience needed. Many of the volunteer positions require about 1 hour a week. Email us at suncitytvhh@gmail.com to learn more.
Well, I'm here with Jim Smith, who's the president of the Photography Club. And Jim, talk about the club, its members, and wow, some of these people are so talented.
Yes, we have a lot of great talented people in the club. We have a membership of about 400 members altogether, and it's just really great to see all the activity that goes on. We have competitions, we have studio exhibits, we exhibit around town, we have educational programs to help our members and that kind of thing. But we particularly have a lot of members who participate in outside activities and win awards and publish articles and do things not just locally but nationally and even internationally. So it's a great club and great membership.
I know you just came off Creative Visions with the Art Club, and you also have monthly competitions too, don't you?
We do. We have, I think, seven competitions a year, and our members progress from novice to intermediate to advanced to expert level. And the competitions are a great way for people to learn and to improve in their photography.
Well, I'm here with Sophia Schade, and she's one of the super talented photographers at the Photography Club. Even though you've been only doing this for how long now?
7 years. So I appreciate the compliment, but I actually started photography when Dennis, my husband, and I retired here in Sun City. And Rich Matheny, who you will interview later on, is a true mentor, and I owe all that to him.
Okay.
So I do go out every day. I am a wildlife photographer. I am trying to learn landscaping and portrait and still life, but my true love is wildlife and specifically birds.
Okay.
So that's what I do.
Sophia, show us some of the journals or these. You've got massive amounts of books here, and you're featured in these. Tell us about it.
So one of the things that I feel as growth for me is to expand outside of Sun City and to submit articles that tell story. So my first article actually was at Camera Wild. It's a quarterly magazine that is issued by CNPA. CNPA is the photography of North Carolina, both South Carolina and North Carolina. And this is a story that I did while I was photographing at Donley. Donley is about an hour from here. It is a wild management center, and you can find everything you can imagine. This particular story was about a great blue heron catching a big catfish, an eagle flying above it, and then the eagle coming down trying to steal the fish. And believe it or not, at the end of the day, the fish won because it got away. So that is the great story about this. The next magazine that I like to submit, and this is actually my first publication, is an international magazine, is the PSA Journal. And this is a story about my experience with a rare hummingbird. And this actually has a great story. I received a call from a local newspaper saying, hey, we know you. We've seen your photos all over our newspaper. We have gotten a call from a family that has a white hummingbird. Called the family, they were outside Sun City, went over there 3 times, stayed there for hours and hours, no white hummingbird. I started telling people here in Sun City about, I want to find this white hummingbird. The next thing I know, I get a message on Facebook from a Sun City resident say, hey, I understand you're looking for this bird. I know exactly where it is. Called those people, went and sat in their backyard, and I was absolutely amazed and able to capture these fabulous photos of this holistic hummingbird that was here last year. Actually, this story is being featured in the April Sensations, so people can read about this in the April magazine. So
this hummingbird is famous.
This hummingbird is Sophia's hummingbird, and I actually called it Pearl.
Pearl.
Oh yeah, I just
Yeah.
loved it, and it really gave me a lot of joy. Got to photograph him and videotape him 3 different times, and the people were very gracious and end up being around the corner from my house.
Wow.
And I have new friends. So anyway, so that was kind of cool. The other magazine that I have been featured in is the Local Biz. Is a magazine that is side from local life, and this is all business, and they actually did an article on me on my previous life, but tied in my photography, so that was very special and unique to me. So it is mostly of my retail life and a little bit of my photography. With that said, Local Life is actually doing a big article in the April, their April edition about my photography, and they're featuring the blue heron with the catfish. So I'm very, very excited.
Well, you have a lot to be proud of, and I know you've won a lot of contests here in Sun City. You've been in Creative Visions, you've won there. You are a superstar, Sophia, and we are so happy that you have all this recognition. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And again, I would not have done it if this club wasn't here, if it wasn't inclusive, and if Rich Matheny did not say to me, I will mentor you. You just have to do what I tell you to do.
Okay. Obviously, you were a good student.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm with John Burrack, and John, tell us about this fantastic photo, which I think everyone in Sun City has seen.
It's been in their mailbox, or they got it this month. This photo was taken just 3 years ago, in 2020, outside my house. Cedar waxwings come every year and eat the berries off our holly tree, and I can sit there and take pictures of them.
Okay, now you say they come every year. Do you do mainly birds, or do you photograph other things?
I photograph most anything I can find, I guess. Not people, typically, but I like photographing things in Sun City. I don't go out much anymore, but I do a lot of wildlife.
Okay.
I have a neat backyard, so I get bird pictures all the time, too.
Okay, what's your favorite subject, John?
Oh
Or do
my
you have
gosh.
one?
I really don't have one. It's all a big learning experience, like Sophia said. I didn't take up photography until I retired, which was some 19 years ago. And it's been a very good retirement hobby and a learning experience.
How long does it take you for when you're looking at a subject to photograph it? I know some people sit there for hours watching.
Yeah, you can wait for hours, and I don't typically take that long. If I see a picture, the camera is handy at home. I grab it, and if I don't scare the animal away, why, I get its picture. This particular tree is right outside a window in our house, a bay window, and a lot of times I'll photograph the birds there through the window,
Okay.
so they can't see me.
Okay. And how many pictures have you taken?
No, the average of the last 7 or 8 years is about 17,000 a year, but that isn't good pictures. Those aren't the pictures I show people. I probably have 100 or so every year that I think are showable someplace.
And I know you've entered into many contests and won many contests, and your pictures have been everywhere.
Yeah, they are. I like to share them.
Yeah, because they're good. They're really good.
Thank
And
you.
everyone in Sun City is going to see this one because it's on the cover of their Sensations. Right, John?
In March.
In March.
Yep.
That's right. I've seen it. It's beautiful. I love the colors, and now I know what kind of bird that is.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I'm here with Cathy Thiem, and Cathy is another superstar at the photography club. And Cathy, tell us about this beautiful, beautiful picture.
Well, thank you. So this is Wilbur Woodstork. He was photographed down at Merritt Island in Florida. And one of the things I like to do, I like to think out of the box. I like to do things different. I like to push myself. I like to do artistic bird art. So like say somebody's decorating in their home with these colors, then I like to say, well, I can come up with these colors and, do something so they can frame it and hang it in their house. I kind of do more like interior design photography is what I started to do. Only because I would go out in the field, I'd get these beautiful birds, I'd wait for the right lighting, try to get simple backgrounds, but that's not always possible. You always have distractions, branches, other things, other birds in the way. And so I like to keep things simple. So I thought, well, how could I come up with something where I could start eliminating branches and eliminating distractions and still make it, beautiful and artistic. And so that's how I started changing backgrounds and doing things in Photoshop, getting more creative, thinking out of the box more. And, with digital computers, the options are endless, and there's different software programs you can use. And so I just started playing. And then when I moved down here, I thought, well, gosh, I can create stuff to hang in my house instead of going out and buying stuff. I was always buying art, hanging it on my walls. And I thought, well, I could do that, and that's how I started playing with this type of, I call it digital art. Because, it starts out as a photograph, but then I change it somehow. I joined SOBA as a photographer. It's hard to get in there as a photographer because it only allows so many photographers in at the same time. And when I tried to get in a couple of years ago, they were maxed out on photographers. And then last year, I went down and showed somebody my work, and they go, oh, you should be in here. So when I do something like this, I don't put glass and a mat around it in a frame. I dry mount it and I put it in a frame, and then I put this gel on top of it. It goes on white. You paint it on, you follow the lines in the image, it dries clear, so it gives it more texture, but it protects the fine art print. So they were concerned that now I'm not really a photographer anymore because I'm doing something to the print, which makes sense, right? So they put me in a category of mixed media because they were afraid that the judge that was during this show would disqualify me if I entered it as a photograph, which he probably would have. Because once you do something to the print, it's no longer photography, it's mixed media. So I thought, okay, that's fine. I'll be a mixed media artist. So I entered as mixed media. And, you know, there's seasoned artists that have been doing this show for many years. And I was really intimidated. But one of the things as being a member, you pay yearly to hang your pieces monthly. And so if I didn't enter, this is my mind thinking, if I didn't enter, I wouldn't be able to hang my piece for the month of March. So I'd be missing an opportunity. So I thought, well, what the heck, just do what you do. Who cares what it is? Enter it and be done with it, you know?
Right.
I had no expectations of winning, and it won 3rd place. So I'm just tickled to pink because it's just being amongst, you know, some of those artists and photographers there. Like we have Pete Schramm's a member of our club. He won 1st place in photography. So I'm just humbled and thrilled, and it keeps me inspired to keep doing what I love to do. And this is what I love to do.
Well, just as a point of reference, how long have you been doing photography?
I started in 2010.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to learn digital and editing, all that. So, and it was a lot, but it was a lot of fun. And like Sophia, I've had a lot of great mentors, you know, people that are willing to help. And, you know, you just take classes all over the place. You work with people and you follow people and you talk to people and you just keep getting inspired and, you know, and I love it.
It happens.
I love it. It's my meditation. You know, this is one of the most times I could be totally in the moment is when I'm doing my art.
And it's
So.
obvious you love what you do, and it shows in your
Thank
work.
you.
Congratulations
Thank you.
to you. Well, I'm here with another superstar, Tom Mills, and this is beautiful, inside and out. Tell us about it.
This is the fold-out section from the Bluffton Sun. It's the paper that comes every other month or every other week in your mailbox. And once a month there is a section devoted entirely to Sun City, and it's called the Sun City Sun. And this is the cover of it from the last issue. This picture was taken early one morning right out in front of Hidden Cypress. I had been in the gym working out, and I went outside, and it was a dark, foggy morning, and it was just the light seemed eerie. And so I had a camera with me, fortunately, so I took a picture of a bike sitting out in front of in this foggy, dark area. There was almost another worldliness about how the appearance that. So I took several pictures around Hidden Cypress, and then I came up here to this area around Pinckney Hall and took some more, and submitted all these pictures, a whole bunch of pictures, to the editor, our editor Lynn Hummel, and she was nice enough to put this picture on the cover. And then many of the other pictures that I submitted, she put in a picture page in the paper as well. So got pretty good use of my pictures in this issue.
Well, obviously, you carry a camera around everywhere you go, and I know that's very typical of photographers because you never know what you're going to see and
That's
what
right.
you want to capture on film. And I know you've been in Sensations, and tell us about all the other accolades you've had.
Well, I'm largely a people photographer. I like photographing people most, and I seem able to connect with people, and I guess to earn their trust enough to allow me to take good pictures. I've been successful and had several covers of Sensations, as have many of our club members. And that seems to be where I do best, is with people.
And how long have you been taking pictures, or this has been a hobby, so to speak?
Well, my father was a journalist, so there were cameras around the house all the time. So I've had a camera almost all my life, and have been photographing. So it's been a lifelong job I've had.
Well, obviously one that you do very, very well. And this is beautiful. I mean, to think of something like dark It was a dark and foggy night. It's almost like an Edgar Allan Poe kind of a thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the editor. Our editor is very creative, and she uses our pictures very well.
Well, Lynn Hummel is a friend of mine, and she is a great editor, but she's obviously got good taste. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm here with another superstar photographer, Julia Parrish. And Julia, tell us about the award you just received.
Well, I got an honorable mention for my mute swans at the Carolina Nature Photographers Association. They had their annual meeting in Myrtle Beach. It's a association of about 1,200 professional and amateur photographers throughout South Carolina and North Carolina. And they have an annual meeting and a competition, and I got a honorable mention for my mute swans this year. So I was very pleased because it's voted on by the membership. So it's your peers that are voting for the awards.
Well, this is a beautiful, beautiful picture. Tell us where you took it and how long did it take you to get it?
I took it at Sumter, South Carolina, at Swan Lake and Iris Gardens, which is I think they have about 300 acres up there with all 8 types of swans. And it's just a beautiful place to go sit in nature and see the birds, a lot of flowers, things like that. And I like to go there and just spend a day in nature. And these 2 swans just turned around and looked at me, and I took their picture. And they've been very good to me because I also got the People's Choice Award in our club for this photo also. So
Wow. Now, how long have you been doing photography?
since 2019 when I retired.
Wow.
Yeah.
You didn't
So
do
it's
it
a
before
new,
that, huh?
no. I had a degree in art history, so I've appreciated art, but never had a chance to do photography until I moved here. And the club has been wonderful, teaching me, my new skills. So it's a great hobby, and I'm enjoying it.
Now, do you do basically nature and birds?
I love wildlife.
So not landscapes, or this is your expertise?
I'm trying.
Well,
but I love the wildlife of South Carolina.
It is beautiful,
Yes.
is it not? Well,
Yes.
You've done a beautiful, beautiful job. They
you.
look like they're in love with each other.
Well, it was a spring day, and I did notice that all of the birds had kind of paired off 2 by 2.
Oh.
So I think that these 2 were kind of looking at me and asking for a little privacy.
Well, Julia, you did a beautiful job.
Thank you.
I know you've also been in Sensations also, right?
I did. When I first started, I was taking a class on cell phone, and I went over to Riverbend, took a picture early in the morning, and sent it to Sensations and got a cover with it. So that was a big, exciting thing for me too. So
Well, this is a beautiful, beautiful
Thank you. Thank you.
photograph, and
Thank you.
congratulations to another superstar.
thank you very much.
I'm here with Rich Matheny, another superstar from the photography club. And Rich, this is a gorgeous, it's a husband and wife here, huh?
Yes, it is.
Tell us about it.
Picture was taken down in Florida. This is a couple great blue herons, a male and a female. And Mr. Blue Heron is bringing his wife a new piece of furniture for their home. And she either accepts it or throws it out of the nest. This time she accepted it.
How long does it take you to get a picture like this? Because, I'm sure the husband's not bringing something every minute to the wife.
No, this was a 3-day trip. so it doesn't take that long to get it. And sometimes you wait a long, long time. Okay. Other times you just happen to be in the right place at the right time, and it takes one snap at your shutter and you've got a picture. Other times I wait for an hour or 2 or 3 to get what I want.
To get the right picture.
To get the right picture. Yeah. I'm primarily a wildlife landscape photographer, And I like to have my subjects doing something, as in this picture, that gives it more punch. People like to see that a lot better than just what I call a bird on a stick.
Yeah, you like to see them doing something, but
Right,
it's not
some
like
action.
you can direct them like people, right? You have to wait till they want to do it.
No, they are in charge. They are in charge.
And how long have you been doing photography, Rich?
All my life, but it became a passion when I moved to Sun City in 2008.
Oh,
So joined the club, and I was carrying around a little old camera, and all these folks had these really nice cameras, so I had to do that, and then they started teaching me what to do, when to do, and where to go.
yeah. I mean, for a picture like this, you obviously need special lens, right?
This was a little far away. You need a little telephoto lens, yes. Yeah, but not always. But for birds, yeah, it helps, because there's some ethics involved in wildlife photography. You don't want to disturb them out of their normal habitat or their normal procedures that they do every day. So you can't get right on top of them. So the telephoto lens really helps with that.
Okay. Tell us about the second photo.
These are royal terns, and again, this was taken down in Florida, just north of Jacksonville, and the royal tern that has the fish in its mouth had been out in the ocean feeding, caught this fish, and it's bringing it back, and you can barely see it, but there's a little tiny chick down in amongst those adults, and that's who's supposed to get the fish. But all of these other adults see the fish, and they're hungry, and they all got their mouth wide open. And this is what I was talking to you about earlier. You got to wait for a moment. And this was a moment that I wanted to take the picture.
All right, I gotta know. Did the little guy get the fish, or did the big guy get the fish?
I don't remember.
Oh, Rich!
I don't remember. He would had a really hard time jousting out all of these adult royal terns.
He has to go back and get more fish.
Yeah.
So you obviously enjoy photography, and the photography club has obviously enjoyed your work too.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Sun City TV is keeping Doug as busy as possible. It keeps him out of trouble. And he and SCTV could use your help. We need those action shots and Kodak moments that happen every day here in Sun City. Since Doug can't be everywhere, think about when you're out on the courses, the courts, or the field, putting that phone to good use and snapping those shots of your favorite athletes. To get a TV-worthy shot, here's a quick TV camera lesson. Most importantly, hold your camera for a landscape, not portrait orientation. A good comparison to help you remember, think hamburger, not hot dog. Got it? To click it up a notch, here's some other hints. For a video, lock those elbows or stabilize against a solid surface. That way no viewers get motion sick. Pan slowly, that motion sickness thing. Shoot with your back to the sun and bright light. Check your background. Frame your subject. And zoom with your feet, which means get closer. Then get those visuals ready to send to SCTV. Format those pictures and videos as MP4, MOV, JPG, JPEG, and HEIC. Send your photos and videos with a brief description of the event details and identify persons when possible. Email them to suncitytvhh@gmail.com and watch for your first TV photo credit.